Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having a good day today. Not at home, I'm here with my friend Prince instead, and we're going to be doing a wardrobe tour, taking a look at Prince's wardrobe because he wears classic, gothic, and
I'm sorry, I hit my bats.
so sorry.
It's okay, we'll start again. I'm gonna move the bat.
So today we're going to be doing a wardrobe tour looking at Prince's wardrobe because he wears classic, gothic, and old school as well. And I think it'll be really interesting to be able to look at other substyles more closely, especially classic, which I feel, or we both feel, isn't really talked about as much or doesn't have a huge online presence in the Lolita community. So I'd love to feature some of that substyle. So introduce yourself. Let us know a bit who you are.
I mean, you did such a good job.
Thank you.
So I'm Prince. I've been a Lolita for 6 years. I wear mainly classic and gothic with a little bit of old school.
Yeah.
I started off as sweet, interestingly enough. So my 6 years in the fashion aren't super representative in my wardrobe, as you'll see. I have less dresses than you might expect, but I love everything that I have, and I'm really excited to do this tour with you today.
Yes, I'm so excited. Prince has an amazing wardrobe, and also you should definitely check him out on Instagram at PetitPetitPrince and give him a follow for all that classic and gothic goodness. So we're gonna start with like a short interview. Prince is going to talk a bit about his wardrobe, why he's drawn to those substyles, sort of what make classic and gothic work in a wardrobe, and then we're going to look more closely at some main pieces, some accessories, and things like that. So let's get right into it. In every video, I'm like, let's get right into it.
I love it.
So we're going to start with some questions first. Let's start with some questions about the substyles that you are into. So obviously you wear classic and gothic mostly. What got you into those substyles?
So classic, actually, the person that really got me into Lolita fashion, like my mentor, so to speak, is a classic Lolita.
Right.
So when I first got introduced to the fashion, it was like, I was so exposed to Mary Magdalene, and I got to see their dresses live, which I feel like not a lot of people have the opportunity to do because they're so rare. So like I fell in love with Mary Magdalene right away. So that's really what got me into classic. And also I'm an English lit major, and I'm like obsessed with like period dramas, so that kind of helps.
Right.
For gothic, honestly, it's like my teenage like hot topic, like vampire edgelord self that loves gothic. And if I'm being really honest with you, when the Watche boom like came back a couple years ago, I just rode that wave.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you love that outside of Lolita, obviously you're going to be drawn to it in Lolita.
But like I'm not going to act like I didn't fall in love with gothic like independently on my own. Like it was totally like the revival of gothic and like the gothic hype.
Right, so you were like more influenced by the community for
100%.
Okay. And obviously you have a little bit of old school, but you don't wear it as much. So just to kind of clear everything up, Prince is in between like old school and phasing it out of his wardrobe a little bit. We are going to talk about it and like show his pieces just because they're there, but it's way more of like a classic and gothic wardrobe.
Yeah.
What originally drew you to old school, and why do you feel like you're kind of phasing it out?
What originally drew me to it is honestly that sense of like, when you look at like old street snaps, there was like, it wasn't like perfect, right? And like people were often like not wearing makeup, or like maybe their clothes are a little bit wrinkly, and I love that.
Right, like, just the simplicity of like wearing it and that's it. Like
exactly, like not like the sort of social media perfection Instagram thing, which you know I do that too. But I love that about old school. Honestly, the only reason why I'm phasing out is because it's too much for me to balance 3 substyles.
Right.
Too expensive. Can't do it.
Especially because old school's not cheap anymore for the most part. You see like coordinate pieces going for like $300 and it's like, oh, I remember them going for like 60.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't want to contribute to that, honestly.
Right, the scalping. It's bad enough with Moitié and old classic.
Yeah, I can't do it. So that's the real reason.
So in classic and gothic, what are your favorite themes?
Ooh, I can definitely point this out more in detail later in the tour, but like for classic, honestly, like florals.
Can I ask you another question?
Yeah.
Is there another theme other than florals in classic?
Okay, hear me out.
Yes, I am.
Is it a theme? No, I would say in classic, there's a lot more variety in fabrics.
Yeah, that's totally true. You have like your corduroys, you have your cottons, you have linens, wool for sure.
So that's not a theme, but I was gonna say that. But no, it's mostly florals, honestly.
I mean, innocent, if you go more into like the swastic, like innocent world, I hate that term. But if you go more into the sweet classic, like innocent world, a lot of their stuff is in between those two sub-styles. And they
more animals.
Yeah, they incorporate a lot more traditionally like sweet themes, like animals and things like cutlery, food adjacent stuff.
There's this one innocent world dress that's like chairs. Like all over chairs.
I will put a picture here.
It's a weird one. It's kind of cute, but no, honestly, like for classic, it's florals, fabrics, and this specific shade of pink.
Yeah, the dusty pink, right? They classic did millennial pink before it was cool, right? But
it's like,
yeah, like what about for gothic? Because florals are in gothic, but gothic has a bit more of like an expansive theme palette.
100%. Yeah, I mean, like it's probably stereotypical, but like architecture is a big one that I really like. I don't actually own a lot of architecture prints, but I do love it. And anything like Catholic. I love
a good Catholic boy.
Yeah, seriously, like my God honoring Gothic. No, I love Catholic themes. Yeah, I love it, love them.
Is that just because of like the cool look of it, or is it something that's a bit more personal to you?
It's kind of both. Like they just go off. They go awesome. Not to like go on about it, but like I was raised really Catholic, and obviously that did not work out for me that great.
They transgendered you
as a trans man. It didn't work out for me that great personally, but like I like reclaiming that part of my childhood.
For Gothic, there's not as much variety in like fabric or color schemes so much as there's variety in like themes. But what are your favorite like color schemes in Gothic?
Honestly, like I'm a monochrome guy.
Yeah, just
I love black and white. As much as I love moitié blue, I don't own any of it, and I'm hesitant to introduce it to my wardrobe because then I would have to get like the accessories and the shoes and everything. So yeah, black, white, and red. For
both classic and Gothic, like what are your favorite brands?
Oh, I mean, classic is easy. My top brand is Mary Magdalene, of course. As much as I appreciate Victorian Maiden, I don't actually own that much of it. To be totally honest with you, I'd like to though. For Gothic, I mean, I'm sorry, it is moitié. It is moitié, but I love Alice and the Pirates Vampire Prince. I only own one, but I would, in my perfect world, I would have them all.
If someone was getting into classic or Gothic right now, where would you recommend that they like look for items, or like what brands would you recommend? Because like we were saying, Mary Magdalene and Victorian Maiden are notoriously hard to find, and moitié is notoriously expensive on the secondhand market. 100%. So like, what's your advice surrounding that?
Honestly, to a new classic, I would say try Shiglet if you prefer darker colors, because they have some beautiful pieces. They're just a little bit more Gothic leaning. Victorian Maiden still exists. Like you can get them on Wonderwelt, and their secondhand market is actually quite good. So I would say that. Those would be my top two answers. I would also suggest checking out Atelier Pierrot because they do have a little bit, but Atelier Pierrot I would say is better for new goth.
Right. Yeah. And obviously we can say like Taobao has like pretty big classic market, but both of us tend to buy more Japanese brands. Yeah. So like just for transparency, like that's why we're both talking about it more, is because like you don't have any Taobao main pieces.
I don't know.
And I only have one, so it's not really a place that we can actually like give advice on.
Yeah, unfortunately I'm not super knowledgeable about it. But I have seen like on Chinese Lolita updates on Facebook some really nice classic pieces.
I would say for like headpieces and shoes, the Taobao classic market seems to be like the best.
Oh my god, shoes? I actually have a lot of Taobao. They're so good. Highly recommend them.
Yeah, so there's like a lot more information on Taobao and other videos. Unfortunately, like we just can't comment on that very much. One thing that's obviously really big in Lolita is lace. Yes. And when it comes to sweet Lolita, it's always like that custom patterned lace. But what would you say it kind of defines like the lace in classic and Gothic?
For classic, honestly, I mean, as far as my wardrobe is concerned, it would be like tulle lace, which, it's very simple, but I love it.
Like the kind that's like this, like the embroidered tulle lace, or really just tulle?
Like literally just tulle. Yeah. Like I'll point it out. It's in most of my Mary Magdalene pieces actually. There's no lace on this one, but it's like literally just like tulle. Yeah. There's not a lot of there's no custom lace as far as I know in classic. My Alice and the Pirates piece has some really nice custom lace, but most of my moitié pieces actually have no lace whatsoever.
Even though it's funny because they're really known for like their lace. Like their cross lace and their
on the socks I would say, and like armbands. Yeah. But on the dresses that I own, it's like there's almost no lace.
Right. I guess that's something that's just, you prefer dresses with like minimal.
For Gothic,
kind of stuff. Yeah. You're more of like a minimalist in terms of like the main piece. And then I feel like you're more drawn to like completing your cords with more detailed accessories.
Definitely. I feel like with having short hair, it can be a very fine line between going too over the top and making my cords look unbalanced.
Right.
So I find that a simpler cord works better with my hair.
One thing for classic is that a lot of, especially sweet Lolitas, tend to be like, that's a normie dress. I can get that at H&M. But there are definitely a lot of classic dresses that work in and out of Lolita.
Sure.
What would you say defines classic as being a part of Lolita?
I mean, it's an easy answer, a simple answer maybe, but the silhouette is a big one. To me, Lolita fundamentally is, like, the one thing that connects the three substyles is the silhouette.
Yeah.
I will say classic, though, does have more of an A-line.
Right. But to be fair, when people think of classic as like too vintagey or too historical, vintage and historical clothes do not fit the same silhouette.
No, not at all.
Like vintage A-line stuff are very full, and it's also not the same bodices.
No.
It's not the same necklines or length. And when you're looking at things that are more Victorian or historical more than vintage, it's, well, one, the length. It's usually very long.
This would never be like a period accurate dress. Like you can almost see my knees.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%. Like the length is a big one. I think people tend to see classic as normie because of the lack of maybe like border prints, or the fact that a lot of classic dresses don't have like the most ruffles or the most bows. But that lack of ruffle and bows is like what characterizes classic.
Yeah, and also like if you just look at a classic cord like this, it's like every single element that we're wearing is almost the same in that we have both a main piece, a cardigan, like a headpiece, and like socks. Like it's essentially matching. The only difference is you have a brooch and I have a necklace.
That's literally it.
But it's really just about styling, but it's the same pieces, it's the same concept, and it's like that's what makes it the same fashion, I would say. Even though like classic is obviously Lolita, do you feel like you get more, I guess, like attention, or you're perceived more in classic or Gothic?
That's a really good question, and it's hard to answer. I mean, you know, engagement and likes on Instagram are one way to answer that, and I would say probably Gothic, to be honest. But classic, I would say I get a larger variety of people interested in it, so not just Lolitas. Right? Like people that are into vintage, people that are into just like, I don't know, like period drama stuff, or like people that are into like gun sacks. Right. You know, like that kind of thing.
It's not Gune?
I think it's gun sacks, and if I'm wrong, I'm really sorry.
I thought it was Gun sacks.
No, it's...
Comment below if you know how to pronounce Gunnesax.
You know what I mean, though.
Yeah.
I get a bigger variety of people.
Right.
Yeah.
In general, how do you feel like the presence of classic and Gothic is within the Lolita community?
It's in such a weird place right now. I think Gothic and classic are harder to get into now than ever, with prices absolutely skyrocketing and so many pieces being basically impossible to find.
Right.
Like you could argue that you can get like a $50 Innocent World dress from like 2008 on Lace Market very easily. Yeah. But the reality is a lot of classics aren't looking for that. They're looking for like the like Rococo bouquet from Victorian Maiden. They're looking for like Elodie doll from Mary Magdalene, you know? And those dresses are so hard to find. Yeah,
even Juliette Justin does not pop up anywhere.
Oh no, never.
I've heard that it's easier to find classic stuff on Xianyu, especially for Jet J.
Yes. Yeah, it's just hard to get into. And as for Gothic, it's a little bit more common, but I think people have said this before, but I think a lot of Gothics sell to their friends. Yeah. It's a very, very tight-knit community. Like, yeah. Not so much on Lace Market. But I mean, for classic, I can say personally, I've had great luck on Yahoo Auctions Japan. Like at least 3 of my Mary Magdalene dresses that are hard to find, I found there. Yeah. And one that I lost last night on a bidding war.
One last thing, since we've been talking so much about like what classic and Gothic is and what it means to you, what is not classic and Gothic? Like, what are the misconceptions where people are like, oh, this is my new classic dress, and you're like, that's simply not classic Lolita?
It's my absolute favorite question to answer, and I will say it very quickly. Yes. Okay, AP Jewel Tones are not classic.
It's a sweet brand, guys. I mean,
they're lovely dresses, but they're not classic.
Yeah.
just because something has an all-over floral print does not automatically mean it's classic.
There's a lot of sweet floral prints, especially AP from like the 2010s.
Yeah. Actually, AP and Victorian Maiden, I know for one dress they have used the same commercial fabric.
Yeah, I mean every single brand has put out a Gobelin print because it's the one fabric to rule them all, right?
Yeah. But all-over floral does not automatically mean it's classic.
Yeah.
And something that is solid but perhaps has like a million bows on it and is like a really sweet cut, that's not classic.
Yeah.
You know? For Gothic, I think my only one that I see kind of frequently that I'm like, guys, is like a spooky print from Angelic Pretty.
That's like sweet, yeah.
Is not Gothic. Like, there are absolutely exceptions. I think like Horror Garden can be corded Gothic, and like sometimes the zipper cut Holy Lantern can be corded Gothic. I will give you that. But most of the time, just because something has like crosses on it or like maybe like a Halloween like dark motif does not a Gothic dress make.
What do you mean Horror Candy Shop isn't Gothic Lolita?
I was thinking Horror Candy, huh?
It's
a cute dress. It's so cute, but it's like, it's not Gothic.
There's definitely a tendency to take like, you know, the notorious, a black colorway is Gothic Lolita kind of thing.
Oh yeah, I should have said that, yeah.
But like, you know, there's less and less people being like, oh, Black Sugary Carnival is Gothic, so much as like, oh, this obviously sweet dress with like a spooky cute print is Gothic. And it's like, I think that tends to be the big newbie mistake where it's like about color, but when you really are like more into Lolita in like terms of time, you realize that it's about cut and fabric and lace and detail, and it's like it becomes very easy to distinguish over time, but it's normal that like as a sweet like new Lolita, you're probably not gonna have the eye for it.
Yeah, because I think we call a lot of things in other fashions goth simply for being black, which I disagree with as well. But
still goth.
It don't start.
I gotta go.
I'm out. But yeah, those are my answers.
Awesome. Okay, well I think that like really introduced us to your wardrobe, like and your opinions, like what we might see in there. So we're going to open the closet, let the gaze out, and show some beautiful plastic pieces.
So welcome to my closet. I'm lucky enough to have a walk-in closet that fits pretty much my entire wardrobe. And I will just walk you through all of my main pieces, starting with classic. So this is Shiglet's Florence OP. I believe it is mostly linen, and it is like the most historical piece I have. It's like floor length, super comfy. This is, oh, it looks so bad on the hanger. This is my very first Mary Magdalene dress ever. It's Mary Magdalene's Morgane OP in corduroy, and it's the wine colorway. This is a super rich dress, probably the dress I've worn the most, and I love it to death. I will note that I keep all of my dresses on clips to not stretch the elastic, and if you're not doing that and you're a Lolita, you should be doing that.
I advocate for clips as well.
So this next dress is Mary Magdalene's Valeria JSK. There are also bows, which I keep in a separate bag. And this is the beige colorway, actually, not wine. Beautiful dress. This is, oh my god, I forget what it's called. I'm so sorry, but this is a long skirt from Victorian Maiden. The name has like rose or something. This is one of their newer pieces, so like post Victorian Maiden revival. And one of my favorite things about this dress is the absolutely gorgeous floral lace. It's like so nice. I love this dress, skirt. It's a dress if you believe it. This is Mary Magdalene's Rose Basket JSK in mint. This is probably one of my longest running dream dresses, and I am so happy I own it. It's like an iconic piece, and I don't believe this commercial fabric is stocked anymore, so it makes it even more special. Oh, and this is the tulle lace I was talking about.
Yeah, there's a few of my AP dresses that actually have something similar, so
I like it, it's nice.
it's a cross-brand thing.
This next dress is debatably Lolita, but this is a Seraphim OP. Again, it's probably not really Lolita, but a lot of classic Lolitas do wear Seraphim, and I just had to have it. It's stunning. My favorite part is the window of lace. This dress is so flattering. I love it. My next dress is Mary Magdalene's Maria Rose JSK or OP. People are divided. There's actually a big bow here, but I have it in the Saxe colorway, and it's so beautiful. I love the corset lacing in the back. I originally wanted this in pink, and I might be doing a trade, but we'll see. The next dress is Mary Magdalene's Faltetto or Farutetto, depending on who you ask, JSK. I have it in the dusty rose colorway. This dress is super unique in that it is one of Mary Magdalene's only dresses with shirring, and it has a bustle that you can optionally add, like a sort of like a butt bump. It's really nice.
I love this one.
Oh, iconic. This is Mary Magdalene's Cordelia puff sleeve OP. I have it in the pink colorway, and this is mostly wool, I believe 60% wool, although it is a blend. And this is definitely one of my more like almost vintage looking Mary Magdalene pieces. But it's great for winter, especially if you live in Canada. And this is Mary Magdalene's Madeleine Chiffon OP, again with these puff sleeves. Fun fact, when I got this off of Yahoo Auctions, it had a ton, like I'm talking a ton of undisclosed damage, including stains, a rip in the sleeve, the bow is missing, and I had to put a lot of love into this dress to restore it, fixing the sleeve, a ton of OxyClean, and a friend of mine made a replica of the bow. So
You have a replica in your closet.
Excuse me, just the bow. A lot of love went into this dress because I wanted it so much, and yeah, I'm really happy that I've basically restored it to not new, but good condition.
That's one of my favorite dresses in your wardrobe.
I just wanted to shout out to one of my favorite items to wear in classic. It's this handmade hat from artist Sylvia Quaint on Instagram. I have a lot of her hats. I'm not sure if you can see. I have like 2 here. They're just really great, and with the elastic they stay on my short hair, so really, really useful item. And I also just want to point out this Mary Magdalene bonnet that Steph actually found for me at a swap meet, and I've been looking for this bonnet for literally years, and I'm so happy I have it.
I saw bonnet, I saw black, and I saw Mary Magdalene, and I was like, put that shit to the side.
So you are the greatest friend for that. Thank
Oh.
you.
It's such a beautiful piece.
So before getting into my Gothic wardrobe, I just want to shout out to my 3 old school pieces that I still have. The first is this stunning Metamorphose trumpet sleeve OP, not to be confused with the iconic 2001 dress. This is from 2007, but nevertheless, it is just stunning. It's like my fancy meet OTT dress.
Yeah, you wore it to an old school meet we had, and that's like one of my favorite pictures of us together.
It's, all this Rochelle lace. Yeah,
Delicious.
That was a great meet, by the way. This is my only Emily Temple cute dress. I feel like they're definitely sort of under the radar for a lot of Lolitas. And I can kind of see why, because the cuts are very simple, but I just really wanted an all goblin dress. It makes me feel like a couch, and I love it. It's just great. And the last old school piece I want to mention is this like ridiculous but iconic Metamorphose camo skirt. I mean, I don't know what to say about this. It's pink camo and it's got Rochelle lace. It's like objectively ugly, but I love it and I don't care.
What's the thing on the back of the hanger?
That is a Putumayo skirt. It's just really simple. That's old school.
Yeah.
It's cute.
It is.
I like it. For old school accessories, I just want to shout out to my very cute panda Kumia. It's the only Kumia I have, but it's just so cute and the monochrome really works for my wardrobe, so I'm really, really happy.
And you love bears.
And I fucking love bears.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I swear in your YouTube channel?
Yeah, I swear all the time.
Okay. Now I'm going to walk you through my Gothic main pieces, starting with, perhaps technically not a main piece, but it's Atelier Bose's Roland jacket. As you might have heard, Atelier Bose is now unfortunately closed, so I feel very, very lucky to own this. It's now like a very rare piece, even though it wasn't up until like 4 months ago. It's a great, great piece for layering over anything. It's just stunning. My next piece is this Shiglet, or Shigli, depending on how you pronounce it, Briar Rose OP. This is debatably classic. I personally court it Gothic, but it's sort of in the in-between. And this is super comfy. And actually, I lent this to Stefan when we did a vampire photo shoot together.
Best photo shoot ever.
Nice memories there.
Yeah, I love this dress. It was so comfortable too. I was very surprised. You tend to think of Gothic as running small.
Yeah.
And there's no shirring on that one, but it was actually quite roomy and comfortable.
For sure. Shiglet is good like that. The next dress, with ribbons falling out, needs really no introduction. It's Moitier's Silent Moon OP. This is the re-release. When I initially got this, I was like, do I want it in white? Do I want it in black? Ultimately, I'm really glad I went with black. Everyone knows this dress.
Is that the one I wore too?
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So the next piece is Moitier's Archangel or Archangel OP. Honestly, it was like a lucky find for me. I think someone that hadn't been in the Lolita scene in like over 10 years was selling their wardrobe on Lace Market. And I don't think they were aware of how much Moitier is now worth. So I got this for really like a better deal than I should have in like new condition. And yeah, so I'm just loving the painting print of the Archangels. And you gotta love this font. The next dress I want to show you.
She is the icon, she is the legend, and she is the moment.
Oh my god. Okay, so this is Victorian Maiden's Nun OP from 2001, I believe. It might be 2000. This dress is absolutely iconic. Victorian Maiden just doesn't make Gothic pieces quite like this anymore, or at all really. It's just incredible, and I feel blessed to have this in my wardrobe. Absolutely blessed. Yeah, I could probably go on about this for hours, but I won't. But showing her off.
You have some banger pics in that one too, from the vampire shoot.
So the next dress is another pretty popular one. It's Moitier's Cross OP. Probably one of the dresses I've worn the most frequently, if only because it is insanely comfortable. So comfortable. And one detail I really like about this dress is the tuck on the sleeves here, and the fact that the sleeves are just fully kind of like transparent mesh. It's really flattering, despite the fact that it's basically a sack dress. It's really flattering. So this next dress is my newest acquisition. It is Moitier's Rose Tulle OP. It's also got these sort of puff sleeves. And what I really like about it is that it has this solid floral fabric and then just this overlay of tulle. It's really, really beautiful and almost sort of classic leaning from Moitier, I'd say. Yeah, it's just beautiful. Moitier florals in general, I think, are underrated. So the next one is Moitier's Chandelier JSK, or OP, I mean, depending on how you look at it. This dress is just really nice. I love the, oh, actually there is lace here. I do love the cross lace here and the little bow. And the print is like slightly faded. I think a lot of Moitié prints like this do suffer this problem, but it's a gorgeous piece. I just wish my bust were bigger enough for it.
Problems I've never heard someone say in Lolita before.
My next piece is Moitié's Holy Angel skirt. I got this for an amazing deal, again, because the print is a little bit faded, but I don't really mind. And I like that I can wear this with the lacing on the front if I want, or without. No rules. My next dress is, I think, one of Stefan's favorite pieces of mine. This is Alice and the Pirates Vampire Prelude. Initially, I had this in red, and I didn't think the red suited me, so I now have it in ivory, and I couldn't be happier. And I think the roses pop so beautifully on this colorway. This next dress is not Gothic. It is Baby the Stars Shine Bright's Baby Doll JSK in black velvet, and it's a set, so I have the headdress as well. This just goes back to saying, you know, it is possible to take a sweet dress and cord it Gothic, because I do cord this Gothic, and I think personally it works. But yeah, it's just a really nice staple dress. And I love all of the ribbons. And the two last pieces I want to show you are my two Metamorphose black skirts. This first one is, I believe, just called the velour skirt. It has a cut kind of like a curtain and this beautiful Rochelle lace. It's like my vampire skirt. And this next one is just a cotton tiered skirt with some bows. It's just really, really versatile and great for daily wear, especially because it is fully shirred. I do want to shout out to my Moitié Bat Bag. I feel like every Gothic Lolita has this, but it's just a really iconic piece. And as you can hopefully tell, it's really big. It actually holds a lot of stuff, which is kind of rare for a lot of Lolita bags. So I love this, and I find the emblem here is just a beautiful touch. And the other accessory I want to point out are these Yosuke platform heels. Again, I feel like a lot of Gothic Lolitas have these shoes, but I really get why. They're really, really flattering. They make my legs look great. And yeah, they're just really dramatic. Very like channeling mana.
well, that was Princess Wardrobe. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you had fun too.
I had so much fun.
Awesome. It was really cool to be able to look more closely at your wardrobe and showcase other sub-styles. Obviously, I've mentioned a lot of times that I really appreciate the other styles of Lolita. And because you have pieces from like Moitié and Victoria Maiden and Mary Magdalene, which are like founding brands to the fashion, I think it's really interesting to be able to showcase them and the details. And if you're interested in classic Lolita or Gothic, please follow Prince. Please wear it.
Please wear it.
Yeah.
We need more people, especially in classic.
Exactly. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please let us know in the comments what are your favorite pieces in Prince's wardrobe. Maybe ones that you also have, how you coordinate them, and that kind of thing. And I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.
Bye.